Okay, moving right along, your pieces for page 4. Not too many this time. Piece A is 8.5 by 5.5. Piece B is 4 5/8 by 5.5. Your C piece is a hinge, and it is 1 inch by 5.5. D is 7 by 5.5, and E is 8.5 by 5 3/4. Okay, so get those pieces cut and then grab your scoreboard. Piece A will be scored at 4 4/4. Sorry, 4 4/4. That would just be 5. Let's try it again. 4 1/4 on the 8.5 inch side. So right down the center. Okay, 4 1/4. All right, piece B is half on the 4 5/8 side. C is a hinge, so obviously right down the center, so half on the 1 inch side, right down the middle. D is half on the 7 inch side. And then E will need to be scored at half on the 5 3/4 inch side. So half on the 5 3/4, and then we are going to rotate the piece 90 degrees and then flip it over. Okay, so you want to make sure this time that the half inch score line that you've already done is on the bottom, and then score it again at 4 1/4. Okay. So you've turned and flipped it, so your 4 1/4 inch is valley side right now, and the half inch is showing the mountain side. That's all the scoring you need to do. Now grab your score tape, and we will add score tape to all the half inch sections. Set E aside for a sec because it's going to require just a little bit extra, so we'll do it last. Where's my score tape? That's D. And we're doing it on the valley side. We're leaving a tiny little bit of a space between the score tape and the score line. You got this. You know what you're doing. Okay, so it's just D, C, and B because A does not get any score tape because there's no half inch section. So now your E piece. Okay, so turn it so that the valley side of your half inch score line is on the left, okay? And then we are going to cut out this bottom half inch section, okay? So just cut right along the score line. Okay. Perfect. And now you can add your score tape just to the half inch section. Now, I mean, I guess you could have done it earlier too, but it would just be a waste of that score tape. So now we can miter all of our corners. Okay, and get the biddies out of the way, and then we will start putting it together. Okay, so get your piece A. Oh, I haven't folded everything yet. Sorry, fold and crease. You've probably already done this already because you guys are awesome and you are pros and you know what you're doing now. You're like, come on, lady, catch up to us. Piece A. We are going to adhere piece B to the right-hand side of piece A. So easy peasy. And now you are going to adhere your hinge to the back of that. So take one half of the score tape off, and we are going to adhere it so the opening's like that. We're going to adhere it to the back right here. Okay, so it's opening to the inside, and it goes like that. Okay, so there's the hinge right there. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Perfect. And now this is going to go onto your base page, so grab the last one you were working with. So we just finished page 3, so we're going to flip this over. So now your Tyvek strips are to the right. We are going to adhere this ABC piece right to the right of the base page, centered top to bottom. Again, you're welcome to measure this exactly. I like to think I have a pretty good eye, and most times if I'm off, it's only by maybe 1/8 of an inch or so, but I don't think anyone can tell. Okay, next you are going to take your D piece, and your D piece is going to go exactly opposite the ABC, so on the left side of the base page. So make sure it's lined up with the ABC that you just put down. Alright, that goes like that. Alright, so we are going to be adhering your E piece. So here's the part that's going to attach, and it's going to fold down. We're going to adhere that right in the center of D. Okay, right in the center of D. So we're going to want to put our pattern paper on D first. I mean, you can put it down now if you desire, and it would just require that you cut one piece to go here, and then you'd need a strip here. So, I mean, you can do it either way, really. It's totally up to you. Now, I die cut the front part of mine, so if anyone's wanting to follow it exactly, I'm going to die cut it. You don't have to. So I'm just going to find my die cut and put it on, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've decided to leave the pattern paper off the front just because I wanted to show you the alternative of what you can do if you don't know what piece of paper you want to use. I just don't want anyone to panic, so you can put your pattern paper on if you don't know what you want to use. Not to worry. We'll show you how to do that. We'll show you the alternative. So, okay, so I've got my E-piece here. I've opened it up. I've got my die cut where I want it. So the edges, it's hanging off the edges. That's no problem. That's what we want. I'm going to run this through my die cut machine. Okay, so now we have something that looks like that. Get this out of the way. And now we can adhere D. Now, if you like, you could have your D piece right to the very edge, and then when you add a piece of pattern paper later, there's no you don't have to do, there's no problem at all because you just, you know, add one piece of paper. If you put it in the center, you will have to cut one extra strip on the side. So totally your choice. I'm going to put mine in the center. Again, I'm going to eyeball it right about there, I feel. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Now we're going to add some magnets. So beginning with your E piece, we'll add one closing E to E. Okay, so E to E. Now we will go E to D. So score tape on E, 2 magnets, a little bit more score tape. There we go. And now we will go D to B. Awesome. All right, fabulous. And now we're going to use this same magnet. So we've got this magnet on B, but we want to close it to A. Okay, so we're going to open up B. All right, yeah. And then let a magnet just adhere to the one on the other side, and then put a small piece of score tape. Remove the score tape backing and close that up. Ideally you'd want it a little bit closer to the edge, but for saving magnets this works. Now we can either do a magnet closing the A-B part to the base page, or we could do a swing tab. I think I'm going to do a magnet though, but you can use this same magnet, but I think I want one a little bit closer to the edge, so I'm going to put it a little bit closer here. Okay, another piece of score tape. This is your last magnet set for this page. This was a pretty simple page. Alright, awesome. So there we go. There's your page 4. So I'm just going to grab my pattern paper pieces and we'll come back and we'll decorate it. Okay, so for the next 2 pages I'm going with the oranges and dark blues and then adding a little bit of the kind of the tealy lighter blue in there. So I've already die cut my 2 pieces for here. All you have to do is figure out what pattern paper you want on the front and the back, cut it out to the same size that this piece was. Okay, so it would be about 5 by 4 1/4. So cut both of those pieces out to 5 by 4 1/4, and then place them here. So this would be a full, this would be like a full piece. So imagine that this is the piece that we're die cutting. So all you would do is you would just trace around here with a pen. Okay, and then put the die cut on that traced line and run it through your machine. So just do that with each of your pieces. You can probably do them at the same time. And there you have it, easy peasy. So let's put these on and then we'll move forward. So I've put a couple of pieces on already, just to save a little bit of time, so you don't have to watch me just glue stuff. So this is on the front. Roll back any excess adhesive there, and then line this up. You might have to cut off a smidge off the bottom of these pieces. Okay, and now if you have put your E-piece right to the edge of D, then you won't need this extra sliver, but just to show you how it goes, I wanted to do it this way. So I've got this 1/2-inch piece here, and then the matching paper is right here. Okay, so I'm going to put this part down. Okay. There we go, and then we will line up this piece with it. Fantastic. And then do the last of our pieces here. Then open this up. Alright, so there we go. So I've got the beautiful turtles over here. I love the turtle paper. And then this opens up. And the dark blue again. And then again I've got the dark blue, and then the kind of tealy color, and then the turtles again over here, and then I might do something decorative on this part here. So there you have it, page 4. Okay, onward and upward, page 5. The pieces you will need for page 5 are as follows. Your A piece is 7 3/8, 7 1/2. B is 6 1/2 by 7. C is 4 1/8 by 7. And then 2 D pieces that are, I guess these are the 2 Ds. 2 D pieces that are 4 by 7, so almost the same. There's only an 1/8 of an inch difference in this part of between C and D. E is 5.5 by 6.5. F is 7 3/8 by 7. And G is 5.5 by 6 1/4. Okay, all those measurements are also on the PDF as always, so if you missed any of them, you kind of follow along there. Grab your scoreboard. Piece A will be scored at half on the 7.5 inch side. B will be scored at half on the 6.5 inch side. Half on the 6.5. C will be scored at half on the 4 1/8 inch side. Both of the D pieces will be scored at half on the 4 inch side. So make sure you don't get the C and the D's mixed up. Oops. So both of your D pieces, half on the 4 inch side. Your E piece is half on the 6.5 inch side. Really easy scoring for this page. Piece F is half on the 7 inch side. And lastly, G is half on the 6 1/4 inch side. So all half inch. So now you know what to do. It's time to put the score tape on and miter your corners. So every single piece gets 1 piece of score tape on the 1/2 inch section. Okay, now miter all the corners. Alright, say bye-bye to the biddies. And fold and crease. Just zooming along on this page. Okay, so your D pieces, I'm going to do this now. 2 D pieces. Make sure I've got the right ones. Yeah. Okay, so the 2 D pieces, I die cut them. You don't have to, but I did, so they're going to sit like this. So I'm going to die cut this edge and that edge. Okay, so I'm going to do that now, and then using that same that same die. So I'm going to put them together, back to back, and put this onto one of them. And now it doesn't go all the way across, so I'm going to have to cut the edge a little bit. Try and get that right in the center. Couple pieces of washi tape. Okay, now you want to make sure that this is also straight going this way. Mine is not quite straight, so I'm just going to lift this up a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good now. Alright, so I'm going to put these two pieces back to back, and then I'm going to run them through my machine. You can do them separately as well. I'm just wanting to save a little bit of time. So make sure they're lined up perfectly, and we'll run these through. Okay, so it's die cut. This part is cut out, but now we need to cut at an angle out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a little line at an angle from the edge of the die out, and the same thing over here, and then just cut along that line. And I'm actually going to kind of round it just a little bit. It's that side. And that side. Okay, so that's those two. I might round this corner just a little bit more. There we go. Okay. So there are your two D die cuts. Alright, and they are going to go just like that, facing each other. So grab your third base page, and we'll start putting it all together. Your Tyvek strips are to the left. So piece A is going to go on the very right of your base page. Okay, so A goes onto the right hand side. Just like that. And now B is going to go at the bottom of A. Alright, there we go. Now piece C, where are you, C? There you are. So your piece C is going to go onto A. So here's your adhesive right here. It's going to go right, not right in the middle, it's a little bit off middle. What you want to make sure is that the bottom edge of C hits the bottom of B. Okay, so line it up just like that, and that's where you're going to adhere. There's a little bit less space here than there is here. So it's not right in the center, but you want to make sure that these two edges line up. Okay, so do that. So the bottom of C lines up with the bottom of B. Alright, so now you've got that. Did I put that on a little bit crooked? I did. I'm going to try and maneuver it down just a smidge. Okay, I think that's good. And now your D pieces. So one D piece is going to go at the bottom of the C piece that you just put down. Okay, so your C piece opens up. Your first D piece is going to open down. All right. Alright, so there's your first D piece. And now your other D piece is going to go to the top of A. Alright, so this is A right here. And it's your other D piece is going to go to the top of that. Alright, so it should look like that. You've got your D's, and then you've got, that's the C, and that's B, and then this whole flap there is A. Okay, now open up your D piece, so this part here, and E is going to go onto the top of A, and you're going to center it left to right. Okay? So center it left to right best you can. So there's E. Now we're going to close all that up, open up all of that, adhere your F piece to the left side of the base page. And lastly, open up F, and your G piece is going to go right here onto F. So centered top to bottom on the right hand side of your F piece. There we go. Now it is all together. Okay, it is time to add some magnets. So let's start by putting your G piece to your F piece. So right about there. Okay, so G to F, lock down. Alright, and now I guess it's the G piece to the base page. So we're just going to use that same magnet we just used on G. Let a single magnet adhere to it, or like attach to it, and a piece of score tape. And close that up. So that's locked down. Then we'll do this whole A section to F. So I'm going to use 2 magnets here. So one at the top and one at the bottom. Awesome. You guys are doing fantastic. We are just rolling through this tutorial. Hope everyone is doing okay with it. If you have any questions, like, please feel free to message me at any time. I answer every message that every question I get, I definitely answer it. So feel free to message me. Now we're going to do our D pieces. So first we will go the top one to, what is this, B? We don't really, you can put one on E to A, but you don't really need it. You could do a swing tab as well. So the top D down to B, the bottom D, let's get rid of that little bit of tape here. The bottom D to C. Awesome, and then C to itself. Okay, there you go. Fantastico. Alright, so now we will add our pattern paper. So I'm just going to get all my pieces ready, and I'm going to put a few on, just so it saves some time, but I'll put some of them on with you as well. Okay, so be right back. Okay, so I've got a few pieces on. I already cut the front two, die cut the front two pieces, and I'm going to have this lighter blue on the inside of each one. So I'm going to put them back to back, and I'm going to trace the die cut pattern here, so I know where to put the die cut. Okay. So I'm going to put just the tiniest little bit of adhesive in between them just to keep them together. Like just a tiny bit so I can take them apart again. But just so they stay together where I want them, so I can cut them together. And then I'll put the die cut right where I've drawn that line. And put a little bit of washi tape or low tack tape of some kind. If I can get it up. Oh, wrecking my nails doing that. There we go. Okay, so perfect. I'll just run that through my die cut machine. Okay. Fabulous. So there's that. Now we just have to cut those two little edges. So I'm just going to take the die cut off. And then cut along these edges here. Alright, and now these, pull these apart carefully. Awesome, and now they should. I'm just going to ink them up real quick, and then they should fit all nicey nice. You might have to cut just a tiny bit off at the bottom. We'll see. I'm not going to ink the bottom yet. I'll just see if we need to cut a little off. Okay. Okay. And yeah, I'm going to cut just a smidge off the bottom of each, just so there's a black border around the whole thing. So I'm just cutting just a little bit. And then ink up the bottom. Alright, now we can put these on. Make sure there's no extra adhesive anywhere. Perfect. Okay. There's one, and then the top one. All right, fabulous. So, got the dark blue there, the orange there, and then inside here I'm going to have the turtles, like that. Okay, turtles there. And then when we open this down, so I've got a little border strip. I didn't have quite enough of the orange, so I've got a border strip there just to kind of tie in the blue as well, the light blue. And then the light blue on the top and the bottom. And right there, dark blue in the center. And then when we open this whole thing up, got part of the signature paper. I just kind of cut a piece out of it. Okay, and then inside, got that same orange to match on either side here. Okay, put that down over here. Fantastic, and then I've got this blue here. Alright, and then inside I did a little bit of paper piecing. So here I've did some corner pieces and one of the ephemera cards. And on this side, did a little bit of paper piecing as well, and just plain in the center. I might do some decorating on that. Alright, so that is your page 5. I'm going to probably embellish a little bit more. I'm waiting. I've got some really pretty metal starfish and stuff coming in the mail, so I've been trying to patiently wait for them. Although I'm kind of impatient about it. But I am waiting for them. Hopefully they come soon. And yeah, so we'll embellish a little bit more, and then we'll move on to page 6. So we'll get your pieces for that.